Live. We're live, I think. Welcome to this. It's just me, guys. It's just us doing the same thing we always do. Nothing fancy or whatever. I hope it's not raining. It's been cloudy and raining for like 2 days now, and it's not fun. But good morning. So, don't know how long we'll be on, but we're here for now. Right on. So, and I know it's a U.S. holiday, but America has, unbeknownst to you, we're doing this big parade and dog and pony show on Front Street. And behind the scenes, America, aka Trump, has had England seize an Iranian oil tanker illegally on behest of America. So England is violating their own nuclear deal they have signed with Iran. It's called the JCPOA. England signed it. It's a law for UK, which says you're not allowed to enforce sanctions against Iran. But they just seized an Iranian oil tanker yesterday, which would be early in the morning for them, for their day. Their fourth is almost done, and it's just beginning over here. And England just violated the nuclear deal with Iran, which means the only people following the nuclear deal is Iran itself, with like Russia and China. So there's literally no reason left for Iran to stay in the nuclear treaty because everybody else besides them has violated it. Tomorrow, in case you don't, wait, no, not tomorrow. Iran said their next round of reducing commitments to the JCPOA is going to be on Sunday, this Sunday, the 7th, which would be like the 6th for us for the most part, which means on like late Saturday, we should start seeing news about that. And Iran has summoned the UK ambassador to Iran and is like, why did you hijack our oil tanker? Because you're violating the treaty we have with you where you're not going to fuck with us. And that's a violation. So NATO is just going around stealing everybody's stuff. They're criminal thieves. America, they put on this big fancy fucking holiday. Hey, Melissa, she's here. They're putting us a big parade. Everybody watched the parade, but what's really happening, why everybody's watching the parade, is America had personally asked England, hey, could you steal that oil tanker for us? So that happened. Apparently, Spain is still deciding what they're even going to say about it all, because apparently England hijacked an Iranian oil tanker in Spanish waters. That's what's going on. So that happens that's today. That's the news. I might go read some more news. I can read the news, right? I can do the news just like everybody else. Except I do the news better than everybody else, apparently. What the fuck? They do that, and it's just so happen. Like, Iran sends oil tankers to Syria all the time because that's through there, because they don't have any other methods. They don't have a pipeline yet. So it's like they intentionally use the U.S. holiday to fucking commit a fucking crime. England is now doing crimes on behest of America. England is breaking their own laws because America told them to break their own laws for them. Like, it's straight up piracy, like actual criminal activity of a nation stealing from another nation. It's like, how can you fucking have a fucking jerk off fucking narcissistic holiday talking about how great you are when you're breaking the fucking law and stealing from everybody? So yeah, I even misspelled this. the title. I didn't even realize I had spelt I had symbols in there. Oh, I suck. My spell checking is garbage. Yeah, I'm with you, Devin. It looks like they're creating a conflict that never had to be, which is what we call warmongering, I do believe. Yeah. It's so sickening. Oh. I'll go check the fucking English news to see if they're even saying, hey, we broke the law today. We're England. We're breaking the laws. What? Activists from across Europe gather in Italy to plan support for northern Syria's ecological blah. Really?
What about the volcano in Italy?
What volcano?
A volcano erupted on one of the islands around Italy.
Nice. Well, they're part of the people breaking all the laws, so fuck those fuckers too. I don't give a fuck about them. They can die.
Okay. I'll tell the volcano.
Okay. Tell the volcano to let them have it. Uh-oh.
I'm making noise. Okay. There's the microwave. I'm going to braise some pipes over here.
I'm still hungry.
I'm not. I'm full. That filled me up.
I'm really hungry. I might make myself some oatmeal. Would that be terrible of me? Probably. It's 10:30. I should just wait and then do something for...
Wait for lunch?
For lunch. What do we want for lunch? Are you going to do the dishes?
I'd probably just do a shake or some ramen or something.
Are you going to do the dishes for us?
Yeah.
Melissa said hi.
Hi, Melissa.
Independence Day. I know. We're celebrating the day we did war against the UK, and we're like, hey, while we're celebrating overthrowing your rule of us, can you go over there and steal some shit for us? You know, good call. I find it disgusting. I'm really hungry. Oh, God. I find it disgusting how we're a nation of lawbreakers, and the only nations that we're fucking aligned with are other lawbreakers. And all the people that want to enforce the laws and have a nice, peaceful fucking planet, we're calling them terrorists and stuff. It's like, we're Nazi Germany because that's what Nazi Germany did. They went around invading everybody, making up excuses. War. It's called a war of aggression. It's the worst crime one nation can commit against another nation. It's what they executed the actual Nazis high command for in The Hague and all of that stuff. And they went around saying, we're the good guys, now give us your Jews. And then they invaded everybody and stuff. And that's exactly what America and NATO is doing, the exact same things.
It's so funny that that just seems like, the stupidest thing. Like, people would be like, why? The whole give us your Jews thing, really?
Instead, this time it's all,
And so now are we going to have people saying, give us your blacks?
No, they want all the journalists. America's demanding everybody hand over their
reporters. If you write, then that's it.
Yeah, if you're a foreign journalist, like, America is going around trying to extradite you just the exact same way Nazi Germany went around demanding everybody hand over their Jews. America's demanding everybody hand over their reporters. It's the exact same thing. You just change the labels, but it's the same fucking playbook the Nazis were using. And guess what? Russia and the rest of the free world is fucking baiting America and England and all these other fucktard criminals into building up all their forces in the Middle East, because if
Trump, that's a good name.
If you look at war from the economics perspective, why invade America when you can just manipulate the dumb motherfuckers into sending all of their military forces to you, right? They're all sitting there. Iran's been building shit up for 40 fucking years. Russia is fucking doing massive military, like armored equipment shipments into Syria. Iran's building their shit up. Like, if you read the news from the Iraqi government, their parliament, because Iraq has a parliamentary system now, they're all voting multiple times for America to get the fuck out of their land. They want America to fucking leave, which means we're illegally.
That's what Iraq wants too.
No, that's what I said. Iraq.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Okay, sorry.
Like, America is illegally occupying Iraq to the tune of over 50,000 soldiers, and we got an entire, not just an entire carrier group in the middle, in the Persian Gulf. Oh wow, and permanently enraged. Like, we don't have just an entire carrier group in the fucking Persian Gulf. We also have an entire marine landing fleet. Like, we have 2 amphibious aircraft carriers.
Hey, she can still be a journalist. She can like, you know, do the slavery times.
Yeah.
Under wraps, of course.
You should at Target.
Well, see, you can use their machine to print it all off.
Yeah. I'm still hungry. It's so stupid.
I'm so not hungry.
Oh god. Hold on. I don't
More
know.
barkies.
I went, and Murphy still hasn't come. Hey, there's Murphy. Now I gotta go open the door to see what's going on. Hey, Mocha. Mocha. What are you doing, Mocha?
There's always like barky things.
Food
Oh, hi, Devin.
Murphy.
So like yesterday,
Murphy.
Murphy. He had gone.
Murphy.
I don't know. He went to do
Murphy.
something and he wasn't here. And then I was looking out the door and there was this truck just like parked in the middle of the road. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Why is that guy stopped there? And then I look and I see my dog Blue is like just standing in the middle of the road, just clueless. He's blind and deaf, so you know.
No way.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Murphy.
Oh, Murphy came home.
Yeah, that's why I fed him. You want more, Murphy?
He probably already got some food somewhere else.
Murphy. Here. Murphy. Here. Here, Murphy. Did you get enough, Murphy? Okay, whatever. I don't care. Go there, lady. Here. Okay. So she'll eat kibble, but
She won't. She doesn't like to eat the kibble out of her bowl, but if
she'll
it's
eat it from somebody
bowl,
else's bowl.
Yummy. That's some good kibble.
What's going on now? But holy shit, where was the dogs? But Mocha's just, I don't know, going to say hi to the neighborhood kids. And today we're just trying to get through the day because we got 4 dogs with ears. And they're going to be all fucking huddling and fucking trying to sit on us all day long.
I might have possibly put out a little feeler for a home for Mocha. And it's funny because, so I was at the clinic and I was talking to this lady and she's like, my brother has a chocolate lab named Chino. And I'm like, oh, well, we have a dog named Mocha. So, you know, Mochaccino, it just fits.
There you go. But I'm looking at a stupid, oh God, is it even going to say anything? There's,
the new Spider-Man chock full of propaganda. Yeah.
oh, what kind of propaganda? Probably a bunch of crazy shit. I don't
Probably-
even watch movies
Probably
anymore.
pro-rich propaganda.
All right.
Because even if they don't talk about the rich, it always circles back to the rich.
Yeah, always. These dogs, man.
Yeah.
Photos of elite Royal Navy commandos during Gibraltar tanker raid. Iran says was illegal. No, it's because it was illegal. UK signed the JCPOA, which means they're not allowed to enforce sanctions against Iran. They just seized the tanker under the justification of its US sanctions. the UK just violated their own fucking laws, and now they're trying to dance around it going, well, I don't know if I think it was legal. Yeah, we're totally doing the right thing here.
We're totes on the level.
Hey.
Because, you know, England has such a history of being stand-up guys. Not.
So Iraq, Syria, and Iran are building a rail line for cargo because it's probably faster to build a train tracks than an actual oil, what do you call it?
Pipeline?
Yeah, that.
Well, yeah, because you don't have train spills so much.
Right. As long as no one blows up the tracks, of course. Like,
and besides, if it was train tracks, you could use it for other things too, not just oil.
Right, but they're doing it to get the oil through. Because obviously, if they send tankers around, that America is going to fucking steal them.
Tanker rustlers.
Yeah, and what about China? If China steps up and starts lending military aid to the Middle East countries, that's gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's a thing. What?
That's totally a thing. Like, shit's gonna go down.
Uh-oh. Syria, Iran coordinate after Israeli raids. I don't like that newspaper. I think it's propaganda.
Probably.
It's the one I think that's ran out of England, and they try to act like there's some Middle East newspaper with their Middle East sounding name. It's probably totally made up. They're like, what do we want?
Oh, Corn Lips is here. Hi.
There's Corn Lips. I thought he'd be out doing 4th of July thingies. Increasingly belligerent Iran poses dilemma for Israel. Israel, you're going to get your ass handed to you.
Oh, I just realized the wheat store's going to have a sale on the 10th.
Really?
Because 710 is oil upside down.
Okay.
So for some reason, the weed stores are going to have something on the 10th.
Oh, okay.
I just realized that.
Ha! And then they have the stupid one. Can the remaining JCPOA partners join forces to save the deal? Not if you're actively violating it, you dumb fucks. Oh my gosh. It's just they do this big ass holiday, and that's probably what they said. Hey, Trump, do something like Trump like on the 4th of July, so no one will pay attention to all these laws we're breaking over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy Exploding Things Day.
So what's y'all up to for this holiday of distractions? That's all the holidays in America are, is distractions to hide.
Last night it was just trying to keep the dogs from freaking out.
I know. I mean,
they were sitting on me.
Yeah, this is illegal. It's totally illegal for fucking this for England to do this.
Chief Minister of Gibraltar.
Yeah. So UK, USA fucking puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Giant Iranian oil tanker.
Well, since Gibraltar is a territory of the UK anyway.
Hey, Murphy. Murphy just rocked the hammer. Yeah, you think this is going to be an escalation, routers? Yeah, I think so. How is Iran going to respond to, $2 to $3 million worth of their oil getting stolen from them?
Fabian Picardo.
Like he was just picked just for his name, probably.
At least he's not Jean-Luc Picardo.
Yeah. Ew, illegal and unacceptable seizure of its ship.
And that's where Trump will come back. Oh, no, it's totally legal. It's huge.
What's going to happen is Iran might, in fact, decide to start blowing shit up. Okay, their ship was stolen.
Well, they already kind of did,
It had over $2 million worth of crude oil on board the cargo, plus the ship itself. which is worth more than 2 million. I'm sure a super tanker is worth a bit. We can look that up, actually.
Price of a super tanker.
Yeah.
Bread and circuses. That's what it all is.
Yeah. That's what.
And
Trump
rodeo clowns.
That's what Trump is. I'm just so fucking fed up with this crap.
It's all pretty.
A law firm in Pillsbury, Winthrop.
So Murphy didn't finish his food, but he's sniffing around for food tidbits.
That's fine. He got all the chicken. Yeah, so this is some major shit that's gonna escalate, all right?
Melissa's gonna go brave the streets of Sacramento to see the fireworks.
Oh my god.
She'll have to dodge tweakers in the dark.
Tweakers in the dark. You might want to take a machete with you.
Or just a flashlight and blind them.
Yeah. Because you know how Europe keeps trying to claim, hey, we want to save the nuclear deal with Iran. Hey, Iran, let's work together to save this nuclear deal. Well, the nuclear deal, if you read it, it says specifically, you will trade with Iran, you will normalize trade relations with Iran, and you will not enforce any U.S. sanctions. That's what the nuclear deal is. It's Iran. The deal is Europe trades normal like with Iran, and Iran sells all their excess fissionables to Russia.
I'm glad Murphy's back. I know we kind of, it would have been better to find him a home, but he wanted to come back, and I'm glad he's back. He loves us.
You just see, that's the super tanker right there. I'm sorry, I could actually share this stuff. There. You see, so Europe's trying to sanction Syria, which is also illegal because
the power went out and they made ghoul noises at the library. That's funny.
That's neat.
Ghouls at the library.
And the sanctions against Syria are illegal. They're based on fucking lies. You're harming. The reason Syria is such a terrible place and people are dying there is all because of NATO's fucking with it and not allowing it to be the nation that they are.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing illegal foreign invasion and occupations of Syria. They're doing a naval blockade on them. Basically, they're trying to treat Syria just like they treat Palestine and the Gaza Strip.
Devon's been having power outages too.
Wow, that's weird. Hey, is that maybe from storms and floods and stuff, though?
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, if like
because our power has been okay.
And there's been tornadoes and windstorms and hailstorms and stuff all over the place.
Because our weather's been pretty blah. It's been like, 69 or 70 and cloudy and sometimes rains, but not very much. Right.
Not really, just drizzle.
It's bummer weather. But if you were like totally depressed, this would like just capture your mood,
So this is also going to turn out to be another violation of another nation's territorial waters. England.
When they're in Gibraltar?
England, yeah, because England did this in Spanish waters, which means they fucking invaded Spain. And then they're pretending that they were. Yeah, they invaded Spain to fucking steal Iranian cargo. So they pretty much they're going around. We live in the fucking world of no laws.
And it's funny, England has always just had this idea that they can just do whatever the fuck they want. Because that's kind of what they've done.
That's what they're doing.
Up until now.
They don't care about the laws.
They don't give a fuck about, or the people that they're affecting. They don't care. Yeah. And if you have brown skin, well then, fuck you.
But like civilians and innocent people are dying because of this naval blockade. It's like when you do a naval blockade, guess when you're in war and you do a naval blockade. Oh, I said tornado onslaught.
Oh wow! Well,
And
that'll definitely kill
winds
power.
and floods will do it, especially with all the soggy ground, and then you have winds, and then trees tend to fall down easily on that.
When I lived in Wisconsin, we had a microburst, and our power was out for I think it was about a week.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy, huh? Yeah, but like now when you're in a nation's at war and you're doing what it is they have an actual naval blockade on Syria. All right, folks, it's a naval blockade. And when you do that, when you're at war like that, the military gets first dibs on fuel and food. So when you do a naval blockade on somebody, you better make damn sure that the nation you're doing shit against is an actual evil nation, because you're killing civilians.
Because Spain's gonna fuck you up.
It's the street lights are gonna be what loses power first. It's gonna be the local small town power supplies that get turned off. It's gonna be like your little fucking walk-in fucking clinics that are gonna be going without power when you do things like naval blockades.
They'll all have can lanterns.
It's you're fucking and it's all under a false pretext, all for stealing things.
Yeah.
Syria actually didn't do anything wrong. They're a secular nation. Assad's not this butcher that everybody in America. They all claim, he's killing his own people.
Assad wouldn't be the stooge for them.
No,
You
exactly.
know, he wasn't a puppet, so he had to go.
Down. Yeah, if you're not going to give up, how dare you not let us break your country up and create a new fake nation here and steal all your food.
Saddam Hussein was like that until he, went against his orders and invaded Kuwait.
Pilgrims. Aren't we all from pilgrims over here? Well, you mean the actual 13 colony pilgrims?
I'm from the Irish, so we came after the Pilgrims.
So
I'm part of the Gallagher clan.
Just remember, this is, you go out and celebrate the fucking crimes of your nation of just going around and stealing everybody's shit. It's just America's literally in the Middle East to steal food. We're stealing Syrian wheat and we're stealing Iraqi wheat. They're having, out of all the food shortages in the world and all the bad weather and all the crop failures going on, Iraq, Syria, and Iran are the nations that are actually having a good year in farming. And we're there setting their crops on fire and stealing their food and stealing their oil even. It's
pretty fucked up.
Very disgusting. No. Yeah, and America's always been a slave nation, and they made it about black people to hide the fact that America's always imported slave labor from everywhere. They imported the Irish as slaves, they imported the Chinese as slaves, and even the Brits took their turn as being U.S. slaves.
Well, I don't even think they had to transport the Irish. They all came over with the famine. And
they engineered that famine. The Irish potato famine. What happened, just like as always, England stole all the potatoes that didn't die, and then Ireland had no food left because the food they did have was stolen from them.
Well, I think they had like a hard year for
it was a potato virus.
Oh, okay.
But it wiped out most of their crops, but not all. And what did survive, England stole from them.
Kind of like what's happening now.
Which is exactly what's happening now. All of U.S. crops are failing, so we're overseas stealing their wheat and olives and stuff.
And then we can take those people as slaves when they come looking for food.
That's probably why the DNC is upset with Trump's anti-immigration shit.
Yeah.
Because they want fresh slaves from Syria and whatnot. And they all dress it in America. It's so fucking xenophobic. America is the most xenophobic nation on the planet right now.
I think so.
Very xenophobic. You notice that you stupid so-called mainstream media, they never talk about what's happening in the real world outside of America. It's always about the Russia investigation, the Mueller report. Tom Hartman, he's this old fucking tweaker from like the 60s and shit. And every day on his program, they just show some pre-recorded shit of him reading the fucking Mueller report. That's all he does. And they have thousands of people watching that.
That's pretty fucked up.
From a long line of fucking criminals. That's where my family line is. A long line of criminals. You can trace it way back. My dad traced it way back, and we've always been a family of criminals. And that's why, as one of the few peoples that's not a criminal in my family line, I'm going to be taking down my family of criminals. We're outing them soon. And then everybody will know who they are. So, yeah, my family is mafia.
Well, my family was part of the mob too, in Chicago back in the day.
Well, that was a different mafia. That's
my great uncle had to clean up after the Valentine's Day massacre.
But you know how
good times.
There's good mafia that fights bad governments. Well, my family's not that. My family is the bad mafia that robs from poor people. Okay, they're not robbing from the government. They're robbing from poor people. Because in America, if you're robbing from poor people, the government's totally on your side. That's how America is. You can't. I mean, it's time to stop denying what America really is. You know, really. Don't know what to say.
Me too.
It's just a real fucking crapshoot. You know.
Shit's fucked up, yo.
A family of dorks. I don't know what else to say. Oh, we got a notification somewhere or another. It's hiding over there. I'm not going to look at it.
You'll be surprised later.
It's just so fucking sad that Trump, the fucking chief rodeo clown, is doing all this military parade shit just as a distraction from American crimes.
I'm really hoping that turnout is low for his parade, and it's like
no, it's going to be a total shit show. There's probably going to be protests and counter protests. Then there's going to be cop fights in the streets and stuff, and it's so lame.
That'll be fun.
He wants to. I don't know if he's going to do it, but he said something about wanting to give a speech from the Lincoln Memorial. Is he going to give Lincoln a fucking hand job or something?
So hopefully they're going to wire Lincoln and, everything will go boom.
I doubt it. I want to bring justice back to America. The problem is it's a long road for that, people. I mean, no one's even caring. America has stopped caring. And it's just like Nazi Germany, how they went around in fucking Brave New World mode, pretending everything was great for them, all the way until foreign invaders were knocking on their doors and shit and saying, hey, get out of the house. They didn't even see it coming. The Nazi civilians didn't even see it coming. And then it's just one day they thought they were the kings of the world, and the next day they were having guns stuck in their face saying, hey, you're going to prison because you're a mass murderer and stuff.
Just like, any rich person who actually has to go to prison.
I'm pretty sure but I just, I'm thinking they're trying to not invade America, but I don't think there's a way.
Well, that's because they have this idea that everybody's armed to the teeth here.
No, it's so much bullshit propaganda. It doesn't matter how many guns civilians have. They're just civilians.
If you don't know how to use your weapon, it's really
if you're not traiing with them fucking several times a month, if you're not doing maneuvers and learning how to be a soldier, your civilian is nothing.
It's the same thing like if you want to use a sword. You have to practice with that sword, or else you're just, swinging a bat around, basically.
Yeah. It's so the whole idea of America being armed is just a fucking total crock of shit.
That's like saying, everybody has swords. Okay, they just don't know how to use them.
Yeah. It's like I can't. Oh, did I tell you some dumb motherfucker last night? piss me off, and I shouldn't let people piss me off. It's not from that person in particular. It's just the simple fact that it's a daily occurrence. So I'm explaining to people how America is doing things that are illegal and crimes and stuff, and how the things they're believing in are lies and propaganda. And this person's like, can't you be more patriotic? I got shot at daily as a fucking soldier. You don't get any more patriotic than me.
Oh, come on. You didn't even buy a flag from that old dude selling flags yesterday.
It's like a motherfucker on the night before the fucking 4th of July is going around the internet telling veterans they need to be more patriotic. I mean, if I ever see a person like that in real life, I'm going to fucking fuck their face off. I'm going to beat their fucking face off with my dick. Just.
Wow, that'd be something.
You know, I'm going to hold them by the throat and take my dick and go whap, 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 right all over their face. Well, yeah, Damon's coming.
Well, and then there's people who think that if they play video games, well, that's God. Training enough, right?
That's the millennials.
I can totally defend myself because I kicked ass in GTA.
So like the most funniest one somebody said to me was like 2 or 3 days ago. I was arguing with them, and and like a whole bunch of people got killed or something, and I'm like, how you like them apples? And they said, you need to get help for your deep-seated hatred of everything. So I thought that made me giggle. That was funny. I have a deep-seated hatred of everything.
Nice.
That's what it means to be a pirate. When you see the world for the charade that it is and you despise it. I despise civilization because it's a cheap fucking charade. It's not even a well-constructed charade. It's just that the average human is so fucking stupid that they'll fucking believe in any happy thoughts they get told.
I'm
a Navy SEAL now. I was a loyal fucking stormtrooper. I did my job. I trained other people how to be good little fucking stormtroopers. Hey, you know, and now that I'm out, you know what it means to be a patriot? When you get done being a soldier, you're a veteran, and then being a patriot means it's your job to stand up and say, this is what's wrong with our nation.
The way that they see it is, okay, so to be a patriot, it means that you were once a stormtrooper, and now you're like, go stormtroopers!
Yeah, they think veterans are to be patriots. You just have to be a cheerleader of whatever the rich people are telling you to believe in. No, a patriot fights the powers that be. A patriot stands up.
Actually believes in the country and, you know,
believes
what
in
we're supposed to stand for.
A patriot stands for what's good and just in the world. And if your nation is not being good and just, it's your job as a patriot to stand up and say, hey, this is criminal actions happening right now. That's what a real patriot does. You don't just sit around there jerking off going, yeah, I'm a go Trump.
See, okay.
America.
I guess I was a patriot in the 5th grade when I didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's when I stopped saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I was just being a patriot.
You have to grow up and be an adult first.
No. Patriot. 10-year-old patriot right here.
There you go. I played this video game, so I'm totally a doctor now. Like they had, like, you know,
I'm good at Tetris, so I'm really good at like flipping shapes around and fitting them together.
So you're a professional mover then.
I guess so.
I played Mario once, so I'm a professional mushroom stomper.
Nice. And fireball thrower.
I played the original Atari Pitfall Harry game, so I'm a professional survivor. I'm
like Tarzan.
Yeah. I played Asteroid 2 on the video game, so I'm a starfighter.
You played Galaga, so you know.
Yeah, I'm
You
totally
got that.
I'm an official alien invader fighter person. Hey, one time I did a crossword, so I'm an English major.
One time I bounced a ball, so I'm totally a basketball star.
Yeah, exactly. One time I was in the park and somebody threw a ball and it hit me in the head, so I'm a professional volleyball player. Tetris. Oh my. So, guess what? I made poached eggs this morning. Those were good.
That was yummy.
Oh God, we have so much to do.
And you're still hungry, apparently. Or did you forget about it?
I'm starting to feel full. It's really a battle to hold off on until your body catches up with things. It's really hard.
So I got weighed yesterday and I am totally fat. I'm 112.
Whatever. You're looking fine. You
Just totally plump.
Yeah, that must be it. Man, it is so cloudy out today.
Yeah.
Why couldn't the weather have stayed dry so things could catch on fire?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Good time.
The Northwest is in a drought. Not just a drought, but a severe drought. And
well, is it the Northwest or is it the West Coast?
No, just
it's
the
in
Northwest.
California. Well, California's been both on fire and having torrential rains.
No, but they're not in a severe drought. They're just in regular drought
conditions.
Oh, okay. And like, so it's like the 4th of July, and it's been dry for the entire month now. And then right before the 4th of July, it rains. I'm like, really? Why couldn't you stay dry?
That's just God getting everything wet before the fireworks started.
God, that's Satan.
Same thing.
Preventing the evil from burning.
2 sides of the same clown car.
Yeah. Like, if you wanted to purge the evil and there was a superpower out there, he would have left this place nice and dry so the evil people could set themselves on fire. That would have been more just.
Sure.
Yep. I'm fat. Trying not to be. I think I got a little less fat yesterday, but I'm trying hard. Oh my God.
I had a chocolate shake yesterday.
No, wondered. Oh yeah, you did. We ate out at the Dairy Queen without getting fat. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think we're good.
Well, I don't know. I gained like 2 pounds or something.
Oh God, that was after you ate Dairy Queen after you got weighed.
Well, no, I got weighed after I had the Dairy Queen.
Well, that 2 pounds was
day.
just the Dairy Queen then. I don't know what to think, folks. Do you guys have? I mean, what else was happening? Like, oh yeah, and Trump's already, even before they stole the oil tanker, Trump was threatening ominous threats against fucking Iran. And what's really freaky and scary is that U.S. civilians are cheerleading the nuclear fucking holocaust. They're seriously thinking that somebody can just go over, drop a couple of nukes on a country, and the rest of the world's just going to be totally cool with that.
Well, like World War II, it's just like bombing Japan, but not.
No, because you only get away with that once. After that happened, the world developed their own nukes, and they said, okay, if anybody drops a nuke, everybody gets nuked. Like, MAD is the official fucking policy for both China and Russia, who, between the two of them, have over 2,000 nuclear warheads. And here's a news flash. Russian nukes, their missiles, they're not going to get shot down by U.S. anti-air defense systems, because U.S. anti-air defense systems are from the Cold War. And are not capable of shooting down the new Russian hypersonic and supersonic missiles, nuclear missiles. They have cruise missiles. Russia has nuclear armed cruise missiles that can fly below the radar, which means not even detectable. So, and they can launch them from the middle of the fucking Atlantic to where no one's even knowing that there's an actual jet with a missile with a nuke.
See, what Devin says is true. Unless it like happened right in front of you, then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah, but it's like
in theory it happened.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to have some ramen. I'm looking at the ramen and I want ramen. I'm sorry.
Have fun with that.
And then I won't be able to eat until dinner time. But that's okay.
Well, I can just have my shake and I'm good.
Okay. I'm sorry I'm all cranky and ranty this morning, folks. I really didn't plan on that. But then again, I'm not the one that planned on hijacking a fucking oil tanker, violating many
He was cranky
laws.
and what was the other word you used? Ranty yesterday.
Yeah. Like this and fucking the one thing in the news they keep saying Iran's violating the nuclear treaty. No, they're not. They're acting within the confines of the JCPOA.
Even though they don't really have to, because
they don't. No one else is fucking following it. I really think Iran's going to respond by completely pulling out of it.
Probably.
Because when their shit's getting
and then developing nuclear weapons just to piss people off, not because they're going to use them.
They won't do that. What they're doing is they're not going to develop nuclear weapons. They're just going to develop nuclear stockpiles just to fuck with everybody.
Yeah. Well, since I'm making noise over there, I guess,
I'll have to wait for you to finish your noises. So I'm trying to go without food for a while.
See, it's funny because I hear everybody saying that they have to, control their weight and watch what they eat and stuff. And I don't have to do that because I can barely chew anything anyway. So
I know.
Fucking whatever.
It's terrible.
Really awful.
Your thing's gonna beep soon.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do this. It's good.
Okay.
That's cool, dude.
Is it raining outside again? But I think our trailer's finally waterproof. It seems to be.
It didn't leak yesterday.
Well, we can't. No, I mean it didn't leak the first time it rained. Or it did, and then I plugged those leaks up, and I haven't seen any water coming in since then.
Cool.
So I think we're okay. They did. They're saying the Notre Dame got caught on fire from like somebody smoking a cigarette or something.
I said it was somebody smoking a joint, Quasimodo.
But it's Notre Dame, so like, is anybody sad that it didn't even burn down? And the whole thing about it is the fire didn't even damage the building that much. It was just the fucking shit that had to get fixed anyways.
The whole thing about it
is
it was a fucking church. So if there was a God, fire would be out.
Why don't you
or God said, burn that church.
Why don't the Christians fucking follow their own advice and just let Jesus take care of the fire, And how did it take them hours before the fire department even arrived?
I know, that was funny.
That was propaganda. You know why? Because they're trying to create a religious war. It's so lame, man. The lameness is so,
it's palpable.
It's palpably lame. Hey Murphy, what are you doing there? Yeah, I don't have much else to say for you right now.
Damn it, I had something I was going to say and now it's gone.
I'm sorry. Does anybody else have anything to add to the holiday mischief? Like, everybody's violating Iran and Syria's rights and breaking the law. Oh yeah, I was gonna explain. Okay, I'm trying to think and predict how would Iran retaliate for their shit getting stolen. Well, Iran has this thing called a modern fucking navy. So what if Iran starts sending warships to escort their oil tankers through the Mediterranean? What if next time NATO decides to steal an Iranian oil tanker, Iran sinks a fucking ship and shoots down a helicopter full of special forces. What then? What if Iran starts putting special forces units on their Iranian oil tankers, and the next time they get boarded, all the invaders get killed?
Good times.
I mean, they're going to escalate. They're going to respond to this bullshit. They have to. Because it's just like how Trump fucked up by
Maybe
not
it
attacking.
wasn't a church of God.
It was the Church of the Hunchbacks. So, like, how is Iran going to respond? I don't know. But I'm like thinking of the things they could do. They could start putting military personnel on their shipping ships, their civilian ships. They can send war battleship escorts to, maintain.
It's beginning.
You know how America likes to say they have.
Boom.
America has.
It's okay, you guys.
You know, America
okay,
is always sending fucking ships through the South China Sea and the Persian Gulf, saying that they're maintaining the international water, the freedom to maneuver.
It's 11 in the morning. Why would anybody be lighting fireworks? That is so stupid.
I'm gonna say Mexicans.
They're not even firecrackers. They sound more like actual fireworks.
Notre Dame was a psyop by electricians against smokers. Well, yeah, that too, but it's an anti. They were doing it to attack the unions, I bet. No, what it is this is another thing Americans aren't paying attention to, which is ironic because America is the ones always pushing this color revolution and everybody has the right to their religion bullshit. Well, Russia has their own Orthodox church, and Iran has an Orthodox national religion. It's not extremist, it's just Orthodox, which means not Catholic, I'm pretty sure. And the Notre Dame fire, and they got all this church that just in Georgia, the Orthodox church group in Georgia, the nation, not the state, had a bunch of fucking thugs break in and beat up foreign
Agent
dignitaries.
Gandalf, hi.
Oh, hey man, he messaged us on the chat system. He left a message like the other day. So
right on.
But NATO is trying to engineer strife between the Catholics and the Muslims and the Orthodox Protestants, I think. Or is it Orthodox? Yeah, the Russian Orthodox Church. I don't even know what it is. I think it's their version of the Catholic Church, except it's Russian.
Sure.
Right. So they would, I guess technically that would make it Protestant. I don't know. But they're trying to generate strife between all the major churches of the world for no reason but to have more strife. Because that's what the civilians.
I'm trying to remember something.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But that's how you get the civilians all ginned up to go out and do mayhem on the streets, is because you use their religions. I watched it done in the USA on the 2016 riots, summer riots, when they were setting gas stations on fire and setting trucks on fire on the freeways and stuff. They used the church to control those peoples. So that's just textbook CIA there. So the CIA is going around trying to start religious wars everywhere on the planet too, just wherever they can.
Because here's the thing. People have told me that, your accident wasn't God's fault. God didn't do that. Yeah, he did. If there was a God and controls everything, then yeah.
You can't.
You can't have it both ways.
There's this old saying, it's called "you can't have your cake and eat it too." If you want to believe in an all-powerful sky daddy that has ultimate knowledge and ultimate power, well, that means they're ultimately responsible for ultimately everything.
The God cake.
Yeah. So if you're going to have your God cake, you're going to got to pay for it. And that means they're responsible for all things.
Yep.
That means every baby raped, every dick chopped is all God's fault. Every AIDS
apparently
victim,
it's God's fault that I was sexually abused as a kid.
Yeah. Every rape.
Thanks God.
Every car crash. Every time that wasp lays their eggs on a harmless little caterpillar to eat it alive. that's all God's fault.
Because God said, fuck that caterpillar.
Well, God made the caterpillar and the wasp, so he created suffering.
Yeah.
So if you want to believe in an all-powerful deity, what you have to come to terms with is that your deity is responsible for all the pain and suffering in the world. You don't get to have some devil and say, oh, it's the devil's fault. No, your God is all-powerful.
And has, I guess, planned everything.
And it's right there in the book saying that they created everything. So if you create everything and there's pain and suffering in the world, it means you created the pain and suffering. Yeah. End of story. That's why there's this whole atheist stuff on the internet is retarded. It's not even a conversation. I won't even buy into it. It's just like, what people want to waste their whole lives talking about stupid books written by rich Greek people having sex with Jewish herders. I mean,
well, and it's also all based on this idea of,
ends with God,
an afterlife kind of a thing. And yeah, there's nothing when you die. I know, I was there. It's just nothingness.
That's why you got to live for living. And that's the other reason I hate religion, because they're like, no matter how bad it is, don't worry, Jesus will sort things out after death. No, you're literally throwing your fucking life away with that fucking mentality. You are alive now. It's your duty as a human being to fucking stand for something. If you want to call yourself an adult, you got to stand up and declare yourself for what you believe in. Otherwise, you're abdicating adult responsibility and you're throwing your life away. It's why I can't understand. It's why I can't stand all these fucking rodeo clowns in the government. This is your one. You made it to a position to where you could actually be something in the history books. You could actually make change that's felt throughout down time into the future. You have that power. And they throw it away for a fucking easy life of being rich, an easy life of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
They're trading their God powers for clean linen. Is what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like right now, if you wanted to be known in history in America, you'd be doing nonstop talking about the floods and the farms and getting attention and help to the farmers of the Midwest. If you were a real patriot and in Congress, you wouldn't be talking about Trump or the Russia thing or the Mueller report. You wouldn't be talking about any of that. You would be talking about your own farmers that are suffering right now. You'd be talking about the meth problem we have because all the fucking rich people are getting rich by selling meth, which is a backdoor way of stealing money from the government. You're fucking taking people's retarded money, their disability money, these homeless people's that get $500 a month, and you're
they
fucking
get $500 a month.
Yeah.
I don't get that much.
And you're pumping them full of fucking drugs, and you're taking their fucking disability money for some cheap chemicals that cost you almost nothing to make. That's what they're doing. It's a backdoor way of robbing the federal government. That's what that meth is. That's what meth is. It's a backdoor robbing of U.S. government funds, taxpayer monies.
And it's actually a lot worse since they made it so that you can't buy pseudoephedrine.
Oh, that makes it even
that actually
more deadly,
it rots your brain way more.
Yeah, way faster.
Yeah.
Well, I think the original meth more rotted your bone structure than your.
It did that, and it just made you just kind of fall apart from being up for a week straight.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and that's probably why you go crazy on this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're in Congress or a senator or something, or the president, and you really actually weren't just a fucking rodeo clown, you would be talking about these real problems. Like there's a famine coming. You would be telling people, hey, you need to stock up food while we have it because there's massive famine coming.
Okay, they're probably not saying that because they don't want everybody to rush down to the grocery store and clear everything out.
But if you're the government, you would start having rationing too. You would have rationing. You would also have federal programs to get food, government cheese, real government cheese. Because when you want to know what the famine is going to be caused from, it's because the ranchers are not going to be able to afford the grains to feed their fucking cattle through the winter. So when they run out of feed for their cattle, they're going to sell off their excess cattle that they can't afford to feed through the winter. And that means there's going to be a shortage in dairy, because it's not the beef cows that go the beef.
Well, yeah, and I guess there will be plenty of beef if they have to kill the cows.
Well, for a short time until the slaughter's done.
Because I had to explain that dairy cows are sold as beef too.
Because
they just kill them after they can't make enough milk anymore.
And that fucks over the cattle ranchers that do the beef cattle, because it's depressing the prices for the beef cattle. They're not the same.
I think it's all kind of tied into the whole.
A cow's a cow, but what I'm saying is, if the dairy industry is going to be sending like 1 million cows to slaughter, for that time period, beef prices are going to plummet, and the actual cattle ranchers, like in Texas, that raise the beef cows, they're not going to be able to get a good price on their cattle, so they're going to have to.
And I wonder if actually maybe, it's a different meat from the heifers than the bulls.
I think it is.
Because the bulls are probably more muscular, and the heifers
are more fat.
Are more fat, yeah.
But that's why that'll be like your 80%
I wonder if that
fat.
means, I wonder if like the cheaper beef would.
It's all going to be cheaper beef.
Yeah.
But because there's going to be
and
a flood.
That's why veal is considered so special, because they don't have any muscle or fat. So gross.
And lactose intolerant.
Well, okay. There's not going to be a lot of soy milk or almond. Actually, I don't know how the almonds did. Maybe there'll be lots of almond milk.
That's California crops there.
Yeah, but you can buy almond milk everywhere.
No, but it's from.
Oh, but you're right. But
almonds.
they've actually gotten rid of a lot of almond orchards because they can't. There's not enough water.
So you actually got to look at how the almond growing is going. It's like the Midwest is hurting. Well, the actual fact is we had a mild winter. It didn't get that cold. We had a bunch of record wet, heavy snow, but it actually didn't get that cold. And I just heard the other day that because we didn't have a hard freeze in places where they normally get a hard freeze, which is where the apple orchards are, that's the Northwest. That's Washington State.
Sure.
We didn't get a hard
there's
freeze.
Apple orchards in the Midwest too,
right. Well, it's orchards. They'll be but mainly Washington State and Oregon probably is where they grow that stuff a lot.
Well, yeah, when I was a kid, we picked apples in Washington.
But there was no hard freeze. So now this spring, they're saying the apples trees are not producing, because the apple trees apparently need a hard freeze in the winter for them to produce well in the spring and summer seasons. So the reason your apple prices are almost $2 a pound is for the exact same reason that the Midwest corn is not getting planted. It's weather, it's climate destruction.
There's a boom.
It's all right, puppers.
It's okay. Calm down.
But yeah, and we were even arguing about this. You were in Wisconsin, so in California, so you saw all the feedlots and how they would send the dairy cows to the feedlots too. And now the grains that the Midwest grows, that's why the dairy industry is right there in the farmlands. It's because so you don't have to ship the grains miles and hundreds of miles away. The grains for cattle and pigs is for the cattle and pigs that are right there with the farms.
Well, and they've been farming in that area for a long time.
Right.
That's why there's, farms that have been handed down for generations or whatever.
My point being is that the beef cattle isn't fed those grains. They're not fattened up until the very end when they do get sent to the feedlots. But they spend their whole
might be fed corn, I'm not sure.
No, the regular cattle in places like Arizona and New Mexico and Texas and like Montana probably too. Not Montana, they don't probably have much cattle there. But maybe, I don't know, hard to say. I guess they can survive winters. But anyways, they're free range cows. They're actual bulls and cows. The Texas bighorn steers they always talk about. They don't feed them grain. They roam free. They eat. They have become a natural species of the environment. They're actually an invasive species, But if you keep their numbers regulated, i.e. sending the proper amount to slaughter, they're a natural part of the environment now if if humans do their job right. So they don't get the grains. They don't need the grains in the wintertime. The dairy cows are the ones that need the grains in the wintertime. The whole point of what I'm trying to say is your milk prices and your cheese prices and your butter prices is that's what's going to go up, because those are the cows that are going to be suffering from the lack of grains. That is why the USDA opened up the prevented planting crops throughout the Midwest. They are allowed to open them up for grazing and haying in September 1, and normally they don't do that until November 1st. And the reason why is they're trying to prevent the crash of the dairy industry this winter.
Where was that place that people had taken over? It was like some kind of nature something. I can't remember words.
I'm sorry.
The blue tarp dude.
That was Oregon.
Was that Oregon? Okay,
Yeah.
So wasn't that
what
whole
he
thing?
did was in Oregon. He was from like Texas or something.
Well, because wasn't that whole thing about being the government was trying to kick the cows off of BLM land because they were overusing
No,
it.
they weren't even doing that. But they were rich ranchers that were refusing to pay the exorbitantly low fucking rental fees for using public land. Like, yeah, the public grasslands. It was the government. It's one of the few things the government actually does in America that's a good thing, which is regulate the fucking ranchers and make sure that the cows don't overgraze. And they charge them like grazing land, private grazing land. So if in the absence of public grazing lands, ranchers would have to pay private landowners to graze their cattle on. Now, privately owned grazing land at the time of the blue tarper stuff was going at like $5 or $6 per acre or something. Well, public grazing land is rented out. The annual fees or something is only like $1.50 per acre. And those motherfuckers are so cheap, they were refusing to pay the government rates. They're total land thieves.
But that's just it is,
backdoor land thieves.
Rich people are that much more.
It was rich people refusing to pay their bills.
Yeah.
The whole argument, like that was back in Reagan, the sagebrush wars. It's all rich people refusing to pay their bills, robbing us, the taxpayers, by not paying their fucking taxes that they owe for using public land. Because if you're grazing your fucking cattle on public land, it means that land is not usable for other public purposes. So they were locking up the land, stealing our public lands, using our public lands, and then not paying for it. It's one of the few parts of the government of America that actually is doing the right thing or trying to. And then what do you have? A bunch of rich people pretending they're just regular good old boy farmers being taken advantage of by the government. It's actually propaganda by the rich to destroy the government power.
Well, because, normal farmers and ranchers usually that aren't rich and are just getting by don't do dick moves like that.
Right. Well, it's like even your retarded friend in Wisconsin was pointing out, to be able to get the lower tax rate for farmland, you actually have to plant something. And her family was so lazy that they weren't even going out and planting a crop and then still trying to get the fucking tax rate for being a farm.
Yeah.
So you got people trying to defraud the government like that.
Because before they used to like hire one of the neighbors to plant their corn or something.
And and they can't even do that.
Yeah.
Apparently corn is very easy to plant, because I was looking at the stupid YouTube fake farm ones, and you plant the corn, and then when it gets to be about a foot high, you go through, and that's called side dressing. And they got the big old machines, and it puts which makes the rows mound shape. There's a machine, and that's done after the corn's already sprouted.
Well, and that's when they also spray it with pesticide.
Right. Because you have to, weeds. It has to, you can't actually harvest the crop for it's like 180 days after you spray certain pesticides, or maybe they have 90-day pesticides and herbicides or whatever. They try not to use the herbicides because that could kill the plants, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they apparently the side dressing, it kills any remaining weeds from after they do all the other tilling of the ground and spraying chemicals.
I don't think they did that in Wisconsin. They didn't do the mounding of the ground thing.
Are you sure
but they
don't
did.
side
They did
dress
the
the corn?
spraying.
They're
They
supposed to
didn't
side
do that. They did spray for weeds and bugs.
Are you sure? Because the side dressing also aerates the dirt and is what keeps the corn from getting flooded out when it does rain and stuff.
I just know that the cornfields, then they just have some truck with a big old tank of chemical on the back, and they just drive around in the field, basically.
Off of mangoes in the jungle. Yeah. We got a mango. So yeah.
Mangoes are awesome.
I want some ice cream. I'm thinking I should make a batch of rice so we can have fried rice and fish.
Okay.
Should I take the other fish out of the freezer? You liked last night's fish. That could be like a tomorrow thing.
Okay.
I'm so tense lately. So, but after they side dress the corn, they say that's like the last thing they do to the corn before harvest. Like they don't touch it after that.
Yeah, well, they don't usually touch it after they spray it.
But, so that's
well, except for they do water it.
Well, yeah, because that's what the pivots are for.
Yeah.
I'm guessing if you don't have a pivot, your corns don't get watered, I suppose, huh?
Well, in Wisconsin, that doesn't usually matter because
you got rain.
It rains throughout the summer.
You still see pivots out there.
Sure, a lot of them have it. My friend's family didn't have anything like that on their farm.
Weird. Well, maybe they do flood irrigation. That's a thing too.
No, because all of their stuff was on hillsides. It was just rain.
Rainy. There you go. So if they get a drought, that's
that's
another thing.
If they get a drought,
if there's a drought, the farms that don't have pivots those crops are not going to produce. I'm not saying they're going to die. I'm just saying it's going to be a low yield.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's just like strawberry plants. The plants will grow, but if you don't give them enough water, they're not going to produce berries.
Right.
Right.
Or if they don't get enough sun or whatever.
Right. But without the right mixture of the things they need, it's not going to grow properly. And that's what they're talking about. Yeah, that's what they're talking about, the low yields, though. It doesn't even matter how much corn got planted. It got planted late, and there's still an entire growing season ahead of us.
Wow,
Los Angeles.
6.4. Okay.
That's it's starting to get to be an earthquake at that point.
Yeah. But
at 6.4, nothing should be damaged because the buildings by this time in life should all be built to earthquake resistant standards by now.
Many of them. There's still a lot of older houses.
Because America's stupid. So,
but of course, if it's a house that withstood all the previous earthquakes.
I said just now. Because there was another 6.0 quake up in like the Strait of Juan de Fuca somewhere. And that was last night. So, hey, maybe the West Coast is going to fall off into the ocean.
It doesn't work like that.
It could sink. There could be tsunamis. We'd be so fucked if there was a tsunami.
The water would just go down to fill up the crevice of the big earth.
We'd be so fucked right now. We don't even have our van back. So if there was a tsunami.
Bye-bye.
So if there's a tsunami warning, we have to go to the mechanic and get our van and then go to high ground. Come back and get our trailer and then go to high ground. Oh well.
Yes, so.
Yep. These people are.
I'm not sure how we do that like before the tsunami got here. It's not like the tsunami takes hours to get here.
That's why I'm saying we're totally screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it can take that long because they build in the ocean. Like, we wouldn't really get a tsunami here. We're not in a tsunami area.
Well, we wouldn't get a tsunami here if California,
right.
flooded or whatever.
No, we get the tsunamis here if there's like an earthquake over in Japan.
Yeah.
That's what they worry about, but well, whatever. Who cares? We wouldn't get much of a tsunami. It'd just be a storm surge.
Yeah.
Traumatizing.
I was in that earthquake too.
That was some bad stuff, I guess.
I was in San Francisco.
So we're going to be looking for abandoned farmland to take over.
I think that was the Loma Prieta. Or was that the LA one? No, I think that was the San Francisco one. I used to know, but my brain's stupid now.
Don't know what else to say.
It was a good earthquake.
I just lost.
It was like 7.1 or something.
My brain just deep six to everything.
My brain does that all the time.
Like, I'm thinking of like where we could go to look for land to squat on and still like improve it and then be squatters and homestead it. How about an almond orchard? That's went dormant because they went out of business or something.
Well, see, I don't think that they went dormant. I think that they ripped out the dying almond trees to plant something else that doesn't need so much water.
Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
That's just ruining all kinds of things.
Well, because California, I guess, is the top almond.
That's why they're called the cereal state.
Except there they call them almonds.
It's called the cereal state because it's full of fruits, nuts, and flakes.
That's what there was a joke when I was a kid that was San Francisco something something and the
something.
And the answer was nuts and flakes.
Okay. Sugared ones. Guess it's San Francisco. That's what you call the gay flakes. Okay, folks. Everybody be safe. Don't blow yourself up this holiday.
But blow up other people, because that's fun.
Or not. But whatever you can get away with, I don't care.
We didn't tell you.
No. I'm not a professional.
Just a suggestion.
Hey, I watched an episode of House. That makes me a world-class surgeon. And
I watched Wonder Woman, so there you go.
You're a superhero?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wonder Woman!
We'll be back next time when we figure out what's going on in the world today. That's what we should call it. What's going on in the world today?
Okay.